And welcome to the National Meat Treasure Podcast with your host, John Mulaney.
John Mulaney?
Really?
I know you hate him, but I was actually watching an interview with him like right before we got on here because he just got a rehab.
That's right.
It's so funny. He got a divorce and then got somebody pregnant, like that he was seeing, but like not his wife, which I find really funny. Like you did the whole thing, you got married, you had the wedding. He's doing like a whole bit about how much he loves marriage. Then got addicted to cocaine, got divorced, and then had a baby with somebody else out of wedlock. But gang.
Hey,
gang.
Motherfucking gang. In the spirit of comedians that I do not like, I will be Carlos Mencia.
Ouch. Damn.
Yeah, I hate him.
You did that to yourself. No, I know.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, he's like the pinnacle.
Awful.
Yeah, like his show was like kind of funny when it first came out, but like he quickly turned into the pinnacle, like the definition of corniness
and cringe. And it was
cringe.
He's I don't think I even look back at his body of work and say like it was bad or good or whatever. I think it's more of how corny he plays himself now. Like have you seen any interviews? But I'll let you go. I'll get into it after you introduce yourself.
I'm Joey. I'm out here. I'm blonde now, and I'm having more fun because of it.
Ooh, blondes do have more fun.
Yes, you were blonde the last episode for the audio listeners. I'm digging. Here's the thing about Joey's blonde that I'm digging. He's got dreads. I'm sure you know what he looks like. And most people when they do the blonde dreads thing, they do the ends blonde. My boy Joseph went the other way with it. Did his roots blonde and is still black. It's looking very sexy, very stylish. Also, you're probably, I was meant to tell you this in the chat, you're probably one of like the best people to like be photographed. You take pictures very well.
Yeah, you're very photogenic,
my friend.
Thank you. I feel very opposite when it comes to me trying to take pictures of myself.
Bro,
I struggle a lot, but I'm working on it.
Shut that, Prince.
I'm working on it.
You shut your mouth because you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are intelligent. You deserve everything you're going to get this new year. You too, Baby J. I love you. You got beautiful full lips and a wonderful nose.
Christian,
and you got such cool hair. Christian. Always had the nicest facial hair, except when we were kids and we all had chin straps. And that's about it. Bro, I'm proud of you guys. You guys are the definition of glow up.
I want to hug the fuck out of you, but you're too
I want to kiss you guys. I'll kiss you guys. Let's all hang out. But no, I'll get back into why I think Carlos Mencia has gotten like he's kind of even more cringe now. You guys ever watch the Valuetainment podcast?
I have not.
Valuetainment, no.
Yeah, it's some dude who does like a bunch of like great interviews. He did this whole series with like Michael Francesi and Sammy DeBull. And it's been all over the place. Like, you know what I'm talking about now? He does like all series like mobsters, but he eventually he actually did one with Carlos Mencia, and it was a very like confrontational one, which was like one of my favorites. He was trying to be confrontational without like telling him like straight up I'm gonna fight you kind of, but like he ended up like talking about like, hey Carlos, I get that you're kind of admitting that you did steal jokes, but why won't you say it? He like half like fesses up to the whole thing. He said, well, maybe it was just in the ethos, and maybe people were doing jokes like that, and ha ha ha, and why would Ari Shaffir be able to do a Mexican joke versus me? It was all kinds of stupid shit. And it's just like he even went as far as to jump on with Bobby Lee, and they have like a very infamous like life because Bobby Lee apparently got a lot of his start from Carlos Mencia, and there was a lot of weird shit that ended up happening apparently around the time that Carlos Mencia was kind of on the outs with a lot of people. He because he had so much pull and power, and like comedy is one of those things where I think a lot of people do know is like when you reach a certain level, you do have a lot of power because you can show up at any stage and bump people off that might have been, planned to be there for a month or something like that. It's an up and coming comic who maybe nobody's buying tickets or anything to see them. Right. But, so a lot of people remembered that stuff about him as well, and it's a thing that like, apparently like even Eddie Griffith would do, like a lot of comedians pull that shit, but it's just the fact that he still won't fucking fess up to it. It is like what, like 15 years later, bro? Like just say, yeah, man. I used to steal jokes.
Get on his ass, bro. Go shake him down. You seem very impassioned about this.
I'm inviting you to the podcast, so I can verbally assault you.
So I would love to get a guest on here that none of us like, just to insult them for like insult them for like 45 minutes.
We can do that. We can get that started. Bro. I think we know like at least like 5 people that we can put on.
Who do we all not like for no real reason? Like what's somebody you don't like for no reason? Like they didn't do anything necessarily wrong. You just like they just rub you the wrong way.
NBA Youngboy.
Ooh, really? That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. He be.
Yeah. I feel like he never bothered anybody. What's your NBA Youngboy gripe? Besides, I think he murdered somebody. But besides,
like you said, nothing. Like nothing.
No, he's not.
But I fuck with NBA Youngboy though. It's just I always found his like the frequency of his voice is just not what my ears want. So I respect his talent and all his music. It's just his voice. I just can't do it. So I guess that doesn't count. But that was the first thing that came to my head. NBA Youngboy.
NBA Youngboy. I don't know, man. Who's like? Okay, we could definitely like. What's that idiot's name? Alex.
Alex Jones.
Is that his name? Is the one gay frogs?
Yep. Yeah. That's
Alex Jones.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We could all invite him and just verbally abuse him for 45 minutes.
Oh, Ben Shapiro. Ben
Shapiro, of course.
You know what's the problem with both those guests, though?
Those pundits.
I'm gonna
go ahead.
I'm gonna shit on us for a little bit, but I think both of those people would probably insult the fuck out of us in ways we couldn't come back from. I think they have the word gymnastics.
Okay.
They're much more curated and talking to people. Bro. They're much more well-spoken than us. I feel like we would get thrashed. I would still do it for the views, but I feel like we would come out of that needing therapy, especially with Ben Shapiro.
Nah,
or we would come out of it thinking like,
maybe
we come out of it like, damn, we're black and we are the problem.
No. The only thing he might be able to do is beat me in roasting me. But he's not.
I don't think so. I don't think he's
my
got
mind
that.
Or make me feel bad about myself. The only way you could say I would lose is if after I'm like, nah, I'm gonna pull up on the nigga and I want to fight him. Because I
know what you do.
Want to fight them.
You could just mute him like halfway through. Once he starts like, nah, you know what?
Not fair.
Ben.
Not fair.
Yeah, but I've seen like Steven Crowder is another one that he gets. He's famously, he has his podcast. He's a big loudmouth. But I was watching a podcast and it was I can't remember the name of it, but it was like more of an entertainment, kind of a funny comedy podcast like ourselves. And so like the host is not like, entrenched in the political world. Like, he wasn't going to be able to like stand up to Steven Crowder. And Steven Crowder knew that and said, basically had this debate, right? And instead they kind of like bait and switched him with some other guy. Oh, you're talking
about Sam Sater? When they brought Sam Sater on. And Steven Crowder dipped because he was shook. Because he did not want smoke with Sam Sater. Yeah.
Oh, no, he didn't. He did not. That was one of the funniest like videos I've ever seen. Just seeing somebody like, poof, he's like, and just still talking shit like from when he's out of the picture.
He was scared though. That nigga was scared.
Yeah, he was not okay with. Shook. He was not okay with what happened, bro. He was pissed. Yeah, and of course, like now you have like this whole kind of sect of that podcast world where Joe Rogan's kind of leading the heap, because he tells people, he's like, I'm not going to deplatform somebody because of their views. And it's like, you're not deplatforming somebody because they don't get to go on your show and say a bunch of dumb shit.
Right.
You're not like the only platform. Like these fuckers have literally every platform out there possible. And even if they don't, they'll still get in our ears. Why do we get all these viral, stupid fucking clips about these dumbass guys? Like, especially Alex Jones. I would actually put a lot of money down to fight him publicly.
That'd be
Alex Jones? You think you'd win that?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll win. and we're gonna do Kumite rules. I'm gonna put my hand wrapped in some kind of like sticky substance and stick it in glass, and I'm gonna whoop his ass right for everyone. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
let's get this on. Alex Jones, fight me.
So I'm fighting The Rock. You're fighting Alex Jones. And
I'll be
you're
the
fighting
undercard.
NBA YoungBoy.
No, I don't want to fight NBA YoungBoy. That nigga's a psychopath, bro. That nigga's crazy. I am just going to continue to fight my demons. And those demons are porn.
Whoa, no, I thought it wasn't your demon.
No, it's not really my demon. It's not.
Yeah, I haven't watched
you told us you don't even jerk off in a month. Like, that's demon. Like, porn ain't your demon no more.
I jerked off the other day. I was planning on jerking off fucking like this morning or last night, but I was too tired like to get in the shower. And then this morning I woke up late and I was like, fuck.
You know what I realized? If we can talk about jerking off again on this podcast, I feel like
no, please.
I've been off all week, and I also like have not jerked off all week and didn't notice till just this moment. So I'm pretty sure like I gotta de-stress for my job or something. This would be why I'm spanking. I think maybe now that I'm conscious of that, I'm gonna be more conscious going forward. And like, do I need to spank or am I just stressed at work? I don't know because I've been off all week and I have just not felt the urge at all.
Yo, don't spank though. Don't finish spanking. Catch a body though.
No, don't tell him that. It's Detroit. Like he'll definitely catch a few.
No, I mean like
not that kind of body.
Don't kill somebody. Don't like not jerk off and kill someone. Like don't jerk off and go like make love to a woman.
Okay, yeah.
You'll rip her apart.
Very different.
I said go catch a body.
I'm like, yo, Joey is advocating for murder?
Never.
Like,
never.
Okay.
Except for Ben Shapiro and Alex Jones.
Yeah, they can get it. They can get the smoke.
Let me tell you guys. Speaking of Ben Shapiro and Alex Jones, I feel like I want to say like 2018, everyone was on this wave of like I feel like that's when maybe like maybe earlier than 2018, but it was like echo chamber culture started, where you started getting all these people who only absorb content that agree with them. And I tried to be different, I tried to like get out there and listen to like other sources of information, like Republican talking heads. I gotta say, loving echo chamber culture. I don't engage too much with Alex Jones unless it's like a cross-platform thing. Like unless like Ben Shapiro ends up on like. Yeah, like on like Theo Vaughn's podcast or like an episode of Insecure. I don't think I'm gonna take in too much Republican jargon.
If he shows up on Insecure, like Issa Rae, like having to like navigate a date with him or something, like that would I would check out of this planet. She's like, I don't know, I just can't get along with him, but he's a great kisser. Like he eats my pussy.
I need to like flesh out that skit because like there's so many moving parts to that. Like first of all, why is Ben Shapiro in Compton where Issa lives in the show?
Right. Because he's trying to find out where the wet ass pussy is, and he found it. It's Issa Rae, not his wife. So
it's Ben Shapiro is doing research on this medical condition that his wife told him, because he's never experienced the lubrication of a vagina. So he's in Compton looking for
and on Tinder.
On Tinder.
He's on Tinder. Yeah, he's on Tinder.
He decided Compton was the best place.
That. What's the Tinder thing to get like more swipes or some shit, like Tinder Plus or Pro?
Tinder Gold.
Tinder Gold. He's on Tinder Gold. He's paying it. He's paying that premium. He wants to get in some black women. He wants to find out what it's all been about.
So how did Issa Rae swipe right on him?
I was just getting to that. On the other side, you have Issa going, I've been mostly black men my whole life. Like, let me try something new.
Here's the comedy.
And she goes totally left with it, or rather right.
To the right. That's a good one. Here's the other alternative plot. She invents some kind of swiping mechanism and is so like just needs to have something. And it's swiping, and it hits on Ben Shapiro, and Ben Shapiro had swiped on her as well, and it's a match. And that's how they get into it. And then she has to deal with the fallout from that. But she realizes he ate her ass better than anyone else has ever done before.
You know what? I feel like Ben Shapiro's got to be really great with ass play, because I know for a fact he was definitely one of those kids that was because you remember like there was that thing where like the kids who like didn't like for religious reasons would always do anal stuff, like that was like a rumor coming up. And I heard a podcast recently of somebody saying, because I always thought that was a rumor, but I've heard like multiple like comedians and like white people will just say like that is very true, like there's a lot of anal that goes down in like Catholic schools, and I don't know if it's in the Jewish church or not, but like
a lot of head.
If it is, I feel like Ben Shapiro was like eating butt early on, you know?
Early.
I mean?
Oh yeah.
Early on the groceries.
Oh, yeah. He was at the synagogue, like spreading some nice little Jewish girl's butt and giving her the time of her life. And that's why he doesn't know why pussy gets wet, because he didn't go there. He never went there.
We're giving him a lot of credit. We're giving this nigga a lot of credit.
We are.
I really hate
it's just for comedy.
Like,
it's just for comedy. It's all for comedy.
We don't love you.
We just don't care about you.
So basically, I feel like we would be remiss to not at least try. I know none of us can do impressions, but one of us has to try their best Ben Shapiro impression right now, as it is a rite of passage for most comedy podcasters. So
I don't even know what he sounds like anymore.
Let me see.
Because I don't listen to him.
So Issa, I would like to get you in an anal play because I grew up with it and I have more forte with it than I do with vaginal lubrication. That was so terrible.
Yo, you think he's like putting animal sauce like from In-N-Out on her butthole and then eating it out? That would be a very like California thing.
Probably not.
I don't think In-N-Out's kosher.
I don't think it's kosher.
Wait,
either.
But the ketchup might be. I'm just saying.
You're beating off this tonight, aren't you?
Oh yes, sir.
Damn, now I want to watch a little bit of Ben Shapiro to try to like work on an accent or like an impression, but like I don't want to hear that nigga talk because it's so annoying.
I think I've absorbed a total of like maybe about 3 hours of Ben Shapiro content, but I have absorbed maybe 20 to 30 hours of people impersonating Ben Shapiro to be funny. That's entire TikToks of like him. There's like a whole YouTube channel dedicated to just that, like doing impersonations of Ben Shapiro talking to himself about weird topics.
TikTok, mostly.
I think it's like a whole YouTube channel that's like hour-long videos of just that. I think I might have seen that. It's like I'm pretty sure there's a YouTube channel of the one guy who does, or no, I think it's two guys who both do Ben Shapiro impressions talking to each other about jerking off and this, that, and the third as Ben Shapiro. Which is, I hope they have millions of views because that would be a fantastic career to tell somebody about, honestly. Like if your job was like impersonating Ben Shapiro online and talking about cum.
Issa Rae, I want you to come. No, that sounds like William Shatner. No, it's not. Speaking of William Shatner, that man flew into space. Like for real.
Yeah, a little while ago. Yeah.
Bro.
Is that like a live news story right now?
No, it's not that live anymore. But I saw him on that I was telling you about that Snoop Dogg, Kevin Hart end of the year thing, and he came on the show, and he was talking about Jeff Bezos' asshole for a little bit, which makes me love him more than ever. He was just talking about how much of an asshole he was, apparently, but he went to space for a second and floated in the air.
Isn't he like 98 years old?
Yeah, bro. Captain Kirk went up there into space. The final frontier. That's wild. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think we're getting closer to it. You think we'll all get like one giant ship in our... Do you think in our lifetime that the human race will finally board a ship and leave Earth?
I don't think so. Wait, did y'all just see an error on Zencastr?
Nope.
I didn't.
Okay. Anyway.
But to answer, continue, Joey.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna leave this planet. I don't think it's gonna not in our life.
Would you? Second part. If they said, Joey, jump on the ship or stay on Earth.
I mean, are we
staying on Earth?
Going somewhere, or are we just like
everyone's going? Most of humanity's going.
Let me flesh it out a little more for you. So in this scenario, is there already like a colony built on another planet and we have the option of going to it? Is that what you're asking?
Correct.
Or is like Earth dying? So Earth is fine for now. And there's just a city on another planet that you can choose to live in. Are you living in that city over... What are the amenities of this space city?
I don't know. Definitely alien hookers. That has to be number one.
So we've already discovered aliens. Dude, I was actually dying laughing the other day.
We already did. The government told us there was aliens. Didn't you forget that? Did you forget that?
Because aliens are stupid. We already talked about this. Aliens are stupid. That's why nobody cares. Also, capitalism's beating everyone's ass. so we can't care about aliens. I thought it was super funny though, because speaking of this question, I didn't bring it up on our Cowboy Bebop episode, but I thought space capitalism was so funny because like how Spike talks about like, oh, I'm from Mars, and everyone's like, oh man, Mars is the ghetto. I was like, so we really took capitalism to space? That we made Mars the ghetto?
Space, bro.
We created poverty.
We really took it to we really took it to space, and we'll take that capitalism, the final frontier. That's the name of this show, this episode today, because we're gonna get into more money talk, because apparently the Powerball has now increased from 512 million to 522 million, with a cash option of 371.5 million. Now this begs the answer, or I guess the question: what are you doing with that money? Are you flying to space with your boys to fuck alien hookers, or
no?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would. Sorry, Jody. Yes. I'm leaving.
I mean, can your wife be mad about interspecies erotica? I don't think so. It's more of
maybe she'll join
exploration than cheating.
You know,
maybe she'll join.
It's for the good of science,
for the good of mankind.
Yeah. We're gonna be the first ones to discover like space STDs. That
space
shit could be really whack, bro. That shit could be really whack.
God,
space herpes.
You know what's crazy too? I read something recently that white people are the reason we have AIDS. Apparently, because you know that. No, you heard that rumor that like somebody fucked a monkey at some point, and that's how we got AIDS. I never looked it up. I just assumed AIDS was just a thing that happened. I never looked it up.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was like some weird species of monkey in Africa that
it was a rhesus monkey.
Somebody, I don't know if they fucked it, but like a white person was hunting it and then like got scratched by it or like somehow exchanged fluids with it, and that's how we have today's AIDS. But like the villagers told this white man like, don't hunt that monkey because like there's literally no point. Like it's not even something you can eat. And
so like from what I know, zoonotic diseases, so viruses that can jump from
animals
species to species, or animals to human, are not common. Like this was kind of the coronavirus being one of them. They're not too common. So I totally believe the white man did create AIDS, but it wasn't some dude hunting something. It's the damn government.
Well, AIDS existed. Well, it didn't exist before government, but I mean, before government could widespread. AIDS didn't come up in the 80s. AIDS was around. It's been around for like a million years. It might have gotten to the. Did you think AIDS just started randomly in the 80s?
I think it definitely blew up in the 80s, but
no, it was around.
I'm gonna say 50s was when maybe that shit first started cracking, but.
I'm just when that shit first started
cracking.
I'm just throwing a number. I'm just guessing a time period.
Bro, the first cases of what would later become known as AIDS were reported in the United States in June 1981. That's how fucking crazy it was, bro.
That's the government lying to you. So would you get AIDS for $300 million?
No.
I'd definitely get AIDS for $300 million.
I don't think you know how bad AIDS is.
Axe Magic
Johnson. I mean, not anymore. Not anymore.
He had HIV. He, I don't think, ever developed AIDS.
He never got AIDS. Yeah, because you remember that South Park episode when they were like, "We discovered the
money."
For
my
AIDS.
God, the money!
That's the episode. Just sitting next to money.
$100,000. Put $100,000 in a syringe and just shoot it up, and they're like, "It's." And then they go to like a small village in Africa. We figured it out. Everyone just needs $100,000 in a syringe, and that's perfect.
I'm going to do more AIDS research because I feel like that popped up way earlier than the 80s. But I don't
found
know.
Its way as early as 1960. That's what they're saying.
I want to say too also that I want to do some AIDS research because HIV definitely 300 million. I would take $300 million worth of HIV. But yeah, AIDS.
What if you're spending that $300 million just taking care of your AIDS?
I don't think it would be that much.
I know today they've got a lot better medication that you can take that will get your viral like load down to undetectable levels. Like I remember someone saying, like some money got put. I don't know, some money got put into, or like a lot of white people started getting. I don't know, but like AIDS medicine and like treatment now is like mad available and very good. And they got that shit where it's like if you, I heard there's like a shot you can get when you know you're about to go do something crazy shit. So you go, you go get that shot. You know, you go out to Dykeman.
It's only for males though, from what I remember,
really?
right? Yeah,
wow.
It's only effective in males, and you know, because apparently, you know, they were much more. I guess males were.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not smart enough.
Niggas is wild.
I guess maybe more butt sex. That's what it was. That's what I'm getting at.
So you're not taking AIDS for $300 million?
No,
no, thank you.
Is that selfish of you as a father? I feel like because your kids are set for life, even if you die in 20 minutes. If you just put your kids in the will, they're gonna live fantastic lives, and
they'll get $500,000 when I die. It's fine.
So you have $300 million. They're only getting $500,000.
No, they'll be fine. That's just my life insurance policy,
right? He's saying you got life insurance. These niggas are gonna be okay.
They'll be all right with $500,000. Just invest a little bit, and I'll put a little nest egg. You know,
like $380 million. Like how much? Like how are you gonna fuck that money up? Like how are you gonna blow that money? Like what would you end up blowing that money on if you fuck the money up?
If I fuck them, how could I? I don't even know enough things to know what I would fuck that money up on.
Right? Like how many cars can you buy before you're like, all right, I'm tired of buying cars.
I think I would have the opposite problem of where I could not even put a dent in the money because I don't have enough. Like I would go all over the world. I would stay at all these crazy Four Seasons. I'm not interested in enough things to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. Like I would do everything I ever wanted, and they'd be like, "Damn, that was $46."
Why did you get this Groupon to go to Italy? Like you're just spending $1,200 living at a hostel. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I would probably not even put a dent in the first like 6 million throughout the course of my life. I think because I would try to do it too. I'd be like, I go to dealerships and I'd just be like, yeah, these cars look pretty fancy and they go really fast, but like Ubers are sick. I don't want to drive. Then I have millions of dollars. You know what I mean?
No, and then that's why you buy a car.
You know what? That's what I would do. I would actually. That's how I fuck my money up. I would fuck my money up on tipping crazy. I would tip random people in the fucking ghetto like $4.6 million just to like see it go viral the next day or not go viral and then fuck up the neighborhood. Either way, I'd keep tabs on that person.
$2,000. All you got to do is give them $2,000, and you're like, you know, you're probably changing their.
I was just thinking about just tipping a few $100s, you know, anytime you do anything in the hood.
Nah, but see, for me, like I feel like you tip somebody a couple $100, they're just gonna blow a couple $100 or get caught up on their bills for that 1 month. But like a year later, they're gonna be broke. I would tip like 1.5 million just to see, like, because that, like, I got either you're gonna fuck that up royally, or like that's going to dramatically change the course of your life if you just receive $1 million.
Yeah.
So even if you blow it in 5 minutes, like you're doing something wild. So I got to see what that person does, and I'm gonna tip. I'm gonna walk away like I'm nobody because in this scenario I'm not famous. I'm just receiving money. I'm gonna write that crazy tip in. The restaurant will probably call me like, "Did you mean to write this?" And be like, "Yeah, nigga, I did." Or no, I leave it in cash actually, just a wad.
Yeah, you can't.
A wad with a note on it. A wad with a note on it, like under a plate, and I would leave a note on it like, "This is not a mistake. Take this money, quit this job, change your life." And then I would spend more of my money stalking this person to see what they do with it.
Well, hold on. Logistically, you wouldn't be able to get 1.5 million on something on that table. Like really, for real. Have you ever thought about how much $1 million looks like in person?
Yeah, you need bags.
Yeah, you'd have to like leave like a significant duffel bag.
Or you know what? I would leave it in diamonds, and then I would track this person. Here's because, and this is another thing too why I couldn't spend this money, because I would be making more money, because what I would do is I would leave this money in jewels, and then I would stalk this person and like surveillance them, and then later release a movie about them and what they did with the jewels.
Wow, because
that's the whole thing, right? You gotta like, if somebody leaves you jewels, diamonds, first of all, you have to figure out how much the shit is worth, which, I mean, I don't even know how to do that. I gotta go to a jeweler, go to an appraiser. Then I don't even know how you transfer that to actual money. Do you sell it to the jewelry store?
You sell it to somebody who will buy it.
Yeah, how the fuck do I find niggas who buy jewels?
Those kind of stores.
You go to the jewelry district, like in Manhattan, right?
And they'll get you a buyer.
Can walk in.
See, the thing is, I'm doing this shit in like Montana, bro.
Why are you in Montana? You said you were in the hood.
You know what? I'm doing this.
What was in Montana?
I'm sure Montana's hood as fuck, man.
I'm doing this in Gary, Indiana, because Gary, Indiana is treacherous nightmare ghetto. Yeah. It's so ghetto, people don't even know it's the ghetto because there's nobody with internet out there. All right? It's lawless in Gary, Indiana. So I'm gonna just go to Gary. I'm gonna go to Gary, murder capital, and I'm gonna just leave somebody a diamond, and then I'm gonna like surveillance them, and then just it's gonna be like that. You know that thing in Rick and Morty where like there's that what is it? It's like that, like this little end skit at the end of certain episodes where like there's this like no, it's not It's not Rick and Morty. It's American Dad, where Roger shits out like a gold jewel, whatever. Like his shit is actually like gold, and then like they'll put randomly at the end of episodes people like finding this piece of gold and like going crazy and like murdering people for it. Because it's obviously like a worthwhile piece of jewelry, but it's also like got alien properties that make people go insane greedy. So like the ring. So I would do that.
You want to hear some? I'll tell you something funny. So I looked up Gary, Indiana, and guess what? Was like the number one suggestion.
What?
Why is Gary, Indiana so bad? Shit, that is not a good search result for a city. Not good at all.
I want to say it was white flight.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to say it was extreme white flight, but I have no idea the history of Gary.
It had a steel industry that ended up leaving, and it basically made it a ghost town. And so yeah, that's what you got. People who have no
that's another
job
thing
prospects.
I do too. I would probably rebuild ghettos with my money.
Yeah,
I always think about that.
Rebuild a city.
Yes,
and own it.
Well, I think about that sometimes too, because like there was a point where I was so mad at Cardi B, and I love Cardi, but you know, I'm not really Cardi. I just like hate all rappers' bad money decisions. Like for example, she had at one point when I researched this 5 cars totaling like $7 million, and like does not have a driver's license. Like you cannot drive any of these cars. You could have bought the entirety of the Bronx for $7 million. You could have bought your old projects, and like recently there was a story where she gifted her husband Offset $2 million cash. Y'all live together. Why are you giving him $2 million in cash
for his birthday?
Yo, what do you get the man that has everything? I don't know, dumb shit, I guess.
Just get him a second partner. I don't know. He wants to fuck everything else. Like, just like let him hold that.
Get Offset a threesome instead of $2 million.
Yeah, bro, or a foursome or a tensome. I don't know. Get him a harem. Get him some concubines. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, that's what you get the man who has everything. Well, he doesn't.
Do you think they've already crossed that threshold of having a threesome?
Fuck yeah.
Probably.
Fuck yeah. She was a stripper in the Bronx, bro. At Crazy Horse. Like, she was not like normal. Like, she was dropping that ass. Like
if I had like mad money, right? Like $380 million, like I'm blowing however much it's going to take just to put me in the space to be around so that if something were to ever happen, I might be able to fuck Cardi B.
You know what's my problem with Cardi B? Even though I do think that she's beautiful, but she looks like a very regular Bronx girl. Like,
well, yeah, that's she just regular, schmegular.
Regular.
And that's what I love about her.
And it's not 100% my thing. You know, but it's still like, it's just, you know, when she just looks like somebody who she looks like a doña, right? Like she's the one who's behind the cuchifrito counter, like calling you amor and saying all these beautiful things to you while she fills up your plate. That's what she looks like to me.
I'm
and that's nice.
That shit. Oh, yeah. It's making my heart melt.
Yeah, I want to make sweet love to that.
Right?
That's what I would do with the money too.
Blanco, arroz amarillo. Yeah, like that's what she's asking.
I would definitely be around celebrity women because, like, actually, Cardi B's sister, Hennessy? Oh my God. I would. Oh.
She has a sister?
I've never seen
her. Sister named Hennessy.
I'm afraid.
And her sister's name's Hennessy?
Yeah, that's not
Bacardi and Hennessy?
Yes. Not surprising names. Those are real names. Government.
Cardi B's not a real name. She was.
Yeah, her name is Belcalis.
Yeah, some really Dominican thing.
Super Dominican.
Well, either way, I love her. I'll get next to them. Actually, you know what? Would I fuck celebrities if I had that much money? Probably not. Just because, like, I don't want to be in this. Do I? Yeah, I do want to be in the spotlight.
I'm fucking them all. Celebrities and not.
You know what? I'd probably have if I was given this money, I would have like probably a couple years in silence. Just niggas wouldn't know where I was at, and then I would pop up.
Yeah.
But I would pop
her
up
name
because
is
of my
Hennessy
investments.
Carolina.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, she's good looking too, bro.
I know. It's a sexy family. I feel like Cardi B's mom is hot too, but I could be making that up. I could just be imagining that. Maybe
she's
either
really fun.
She's either hot or just like a super old Hispanic woman that is unassuming.
Yeah, and that's like kind of like, I think that's kind of like my gripe. Like, but it's also like a good thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm confused. Who cares about me? I'm poor. I don't have anything for people to even care about my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some Hennessy Carolina. I need somebody next to me with the long nails, with the.
Yes.
I hate that.
That's what happens when you dig yourself out of the clutches of racism, because there was such a long period of time where I was like, nails are trashy, and then I got really sat and thought about it, and I was like, no,
I'm becoming racist. These white people are getting to me.
Yeah, like in my early 20s, I was like, why would you have such long nails? And then I like really thought about it for like 3 seconds, and I was like, wait, no, I need those. I thought about being a nail tech for a little bit.
I have too also, because like
just have PTSD.
That is amazing. Like fucking, you have PTSD from the nails.
You know what? Because you get a lot of girlfriends that start doing that at you, and then you just get like aggravated, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I gotta go.
Oh, doing that.
See, that's one of my things where like when the girl's mad at me and she starts clicking the nails, that's when I start being less mad. I'm like, you know what? Like it's like a hypnosis kind of. Like they start chiming at me and they're mad, but all I can hear is the clicking, and I'm like, you know what? I love this girl.
They're like Jugglypuff.
Yeah, it's soothing me, right? Because sometimes I'll be like, a girl be snapping her shit at me, and I'm like, you know what? If it was a white girl, I wouldn't hear nothing. There's no culture in that bitch. Like I don't want this cultureless white girl.
Yeah,
we black. We can work it out.
Let's fix this, baby. Let's fix this.
No, I'm all right. I like. You know what's my thing? I like women with bad attitudes, but none of it pointed at me.
Yes.
Like I get excited. I get so excited when Joni's got a shitty attitude with somebody, or she's getting pissed. It turns me on. But the minute it turns on me, I'm like, damn, why the fuck did I sign up for this shit?
You know what I hate though? When there's a girl, I love a bad attitude when it's not towards me. But I hate when it's a bad attitude and it's not towards me, but it's also the people who work in fucking customer service. Why, baby? Why do you have to yell at the server? Stop! I was so feeling you, and then like, I do admire a girl who has a bad attitude all the time, and is like present with her bad attitude and like knows when to unleash it. Because I've definitely had like the girls who are like they want to be mean to the server and they know they shouldn't, so they just like sit there and like clench it and they hold it, and I'm like,
oh yeah, it's great.
I'm like, okay, like I know you have a mental problem and I know you're working on it, and I appreciate that and I respect it and I love you, but I'm gonna talk to the server so you don't have to.
Right.
When somebody actually deserves it, and you just like baby fly, go for it, and it's like art. And they like I told you that at a supermarket that I was at. Me and my cousin are at the supermarket. My cousin's a little more darker than me, and we're like just scanning our few things, and we're like in our own world talking. And my wife noticed like the customer service desk, like one of the ladies just kept like tipping over, looking at us like really intently, and Joni flew and just reamed that woman. She's like, "What the fuck is your problem? These are." Look, it's like, got so excited. I was like, "Yay!" And you know what's better about it is that you're gonna have really good sex right after that. She's been pissed, and she defended me. I was like,
"Greased up and ready to go."
I'm like a fair maiden. I love being protected.
You know what I love as a large black man, just an imposing figure, when you're like with a girl who's like arguing with somebody, like a man, and the girl really thinks she's like getting through to the man, like really like shutting him down, but the dude is really just making eye contact with me behind her. That's happened a million times where one of my friends will be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And like I'll see from a distance, like the guy and the girl will be going at it, and then like somebody's gonna swing on somebody, and I just stand behind the woman, and the dude just has no idea who I am in relation to this woman. Just knows that I'm standing and watching, and is just like looking up at her, looking down at her, looking up at me, looking down at her, looking up at me. He's like, "Whatever, fuck this man." Like exits the situation.
Whatever. Fuck this. Yeah, no, I'm so with that, bro. Because they're looking at you to find out if they can fight you, if they can actually win against you, and today might be the day. Maybe you win, maybe you don't. I have enough rage and enough. I don't know. I think I will take you out if I have to.
Men are terrified of me and horny for me, apparently. So one of my first. How many of us have them, friends? So one cool thing about TikTok is you can repost something that you've already posted, and it will still gain the same amount of traction. So one of my first big videos was a video where I basically said that, I said, "Black men, why don't you tell us a time where a black woman curved you for being a nerd?" And I continued now that sounds fucked up, but when I continued the video, I said, "Tell me this because I don't believe y'all. I don't think that ever happened to you. I think this is like it's a whole little video, whatever." And a lot of dudes. So the video is shot, from like collarbone up. You can't really see. You can only see like the top of my neck tattoos and like a little bit of my chest. But all these guys come on the video. All these strange men who can't tell how tall I am, can't tell how muscular I am, are like, "Nigga, you look like you built from O Block. Like, like you already look like a thug. Like, of course these girls didn't curve you. You look like you." And I'm like, they don't know. The overarching opinion of men is that I'm too sexy to have an opinion on women rejecting them.
Which is like it's ridiculous, right? Like, listen, you are attractive. You're an attractive person. You've got a great mind. Of course, all these great things that work for you. But he isn't smooth. The man isn't smooth. That's not his lane. Not. His lane is cool, but not smooth. And I've seen it. I've seen it fall flat. So you can't tell this man. Like, literally, the only men, and to talk about that video, because that just reminded me, it didn't exist because like all the black and brown weebs that I was around were horny as hell. They were fucking everybody. And they were fucking great. Like, listen, all the weebs that I was in my Japan club, my Japanese club from high school, all those weebs are either in burlesque or doing some kind of sex work, or just like they're doing fucking cool shit. One of them's a podcaster.
Right.
Get her on this podcast.
I want her to, but she hasn't answered anything.
In my humble opinion, the weebs that I have encountered that complain and feel that they get curved because of women, because women don't like nerdy guys or whatever. The ones I've encountered, they also have a couple other things wrong with them, like they smell,
poor hygiene.
They don't take any pride in themselves. It's like they don't care that what you like, and if it's Naruto or fucking sci-fi, you and smell, they're coveting
other women that aren't women of color. Like they really are, like, for the most part. Like, those guys are like, I would do anything to be with some like Japanese girl. Like, it's like, chill, bro.
I should have packaged the post differently though, because I mean it's internalized racism. I've gone through it. Like, it was weird to me where like I went through phases of being like, oh, I could only fuck with white girls because like I can't meet black girls that are like me. Meanwhile, my first kiss was a West Indian weeb who looked like fucking Rihanna. First, like, it wasn't like a romantic kiss. It was like truth or dare. But like, I remember there was this girl, and I hope one day this reaches her, because she was the fucking baddest bitch on the fucking planet. Oh my God. So I'm 17, and I remember I'm working at this Key Food in Queens.
Shout out.
Girl got hired. Super dark skin with like the big pink lips, but super dark skin, huge ass, crazy thick. And I'm just like, I couldn't stop staring at this girl, like, as a 17-year-old. But like, it's weird because we work together. So I have to actually, like, I can't just stare at her, like, on the other register in Key Food. I have to talk to her, right? So I finally start talking to her, and she starts chatting me up about Sailor Moon. And I'm like, oh shit. And then she starts, and then, dude, I was so mad because, like, I had quit the job because I got kicked out of my crib. And like, that's like the first time we made out. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I remember just being like, I want to be around this girl, but like I'm literally homeless, so I have to figure this out. And I just never saw her again. I can't remember her name. I think it was like Oshodi or Oshanda, something like that. But something crazy Nigerian. But I was just like,
man,
I was like, where? I probably have a lot of mother issues too, so I probably wrapped that up in some anti-blackness throughout my 20s. But
right.
Yeah, the shackles are off me, and I don't touch white women with this 10-foot pole.
Bro, it's
unless you're Coco Blake on Instagram, unless you have a face tattoo, like unless you're a white woman with a face tattoo and fake lips, that might get me.
Yeah. It would get a lot of people. Don't worry about it.
But we can't procreate or marry or have sex publicly. It would only be private. You would be it would be very much a 3 a.m. sneaky link, no matter how bad you are.
Sneaky link.
Are you single and have sneaky links? I'm ashamed.
You are very much in the dark, white woman.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, man. I don't know. It's listen, I'll beat that drum forever, and like I never understood it. It is what Joey said. It's mostly because they have some internalized hatred or racism and poor hygiene, bro. Like nobody wants to smell you. Like just
no pride in what they look like, no like trying to present themselves well. And I understand it's hard when you're younger. Sometimes it's hard to see that those things as valuable,
I will.
Is it?
I will say this though, because here's the thing.
People.
So
I'm whoop my ass. That's what happened.
Here's the thing. I will give some grace because on that post, literally there's thousands of comments of girls saying these niggas smelled, and I had to go like, what? Like, there's no like, how are all these women saying niggas smelled? I thought that was like a stereotype, like for real, but like for thousands of women to be saying it, like it's got to be real. And I had to like think back to my high school days, and I will get because I mean I'm sure this didn't happen to many people as an adult. But I will give some grace to niggas in their high school days because, like, you got to think about high school. You are just now, for the first time, experiencing sweaty pits and body odor. You're going through it. And, like, to manage it in a lot, as, in real time while being trapped in a fucking building for 10 hours for school, I feel like I could give you some grace to smell a little bit. We all had Axe deodorant phase for what reason?
But, bro, niggas is wearing, like,
that's one
long sleeve shirts. Right, long sleeve shirts with the anime Hawaiian shirt over it, and like a headband, having a fro, big ass jeans. Sometimes like they'd be trip pants and shit. Like
they would be always wet at the bottom,
hot, bro. Niggas is hot. You're hot. You're making yourself hot, and you're not cleaning yourself, bro. You can't do that.
You can't. Listen, and that's the thing. You want to give them the lane to say that, okay, they're trying to manage these new, things that are happening to their body. How many of them actually took a shower in the morning? That's all it takes, bro.
Right.
I did
every morning. 6 a.m., bro.
I do both. Like, I cycle, like, depending on like what the situation is. Sometimes I like doing both, like taking a shower at night and then taking a shower in the morning.
I'll do both, especially if it's a hot day. Come on, bro.
I mean,
I can't probably have my sweat that bad.
I probably, if I had the nerve to even approach girls, I probably could have also got labeled a smelly person and then later had a complex for it. But I was just staying away from girls at all costs unless I was in a forced situation with them, like that we work together.
Yes.
Dude, I remember there was one girl in my high school. This girl, Angela, this little Spanish girl, who in hindsight was not really cute at all. And actually, I felt like, and it was funny too. Like, I'll get to that later. Anyway, but hindsight, not cute at all. But in high school, I was like, oh, she's so beautiful. So I like sat next to her in math class. I never spoke a fucking word to her. I spoke to the other kid on the other side of me. Shout out to Saeed. He was my boy pretty much through all of high school. Showed me marijuana. He had the giant fucking Coheed and Cambria fro, and he would come to school with like almost exactly the fit you just described, except it was like more of the emo fit. So it'd be like a button-up shirt with a t-shirt over it, and then like the collar sticking out, so it was with a tie.
Okay. Ooh. That's swag though. That's swag though. That's swag though. You feel me? That's swag.
A little quick shout out for all the Saeeds in the world, because I had a friend that was Saeed and he was cool as fuck too. He rolled up. He taught me a lot of things. Yo, shout out to all the Saeeds in the world. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a good New Year.
Yeah, I miss that community, bro. I'm not really around too many Guyanese people anymore. High school, bro, my high school was very heavily Guyanese.
That's cool.
I miss that. I miss, especially like in high school. Yeah, but like when you're in high school and like you've got all these kids like forced into a building from all different walks of place. Because like my school, I went to John Bowne High School. So the funny thing about John Bowne is its proximity, Flushing's proximity to the Bronx, like the South Bronx, is really, really close, just getting over the bridge. So there was actually the 44 stopped right in front of our house. So there would be a lot of kids that would come in from the Bronx. So that's always why we had a lot of static, because there'd be a lot of Bronx kids. And
damn, man, you got
it
Bronx dudes
could go
going to
down.
school in Queens. That's
Yeah. You know what it
never
was.
get this shit right.
But yeah, never. I mean, that my school was like, people were getting stabbed with screwdrivers. I don't know why, but they did. Bro, that doesn't seem fun.
I miss the diversity of Queens. I feel like I'm a more educated person because of having left New York, but I just miss, like, if I would have stayed my entire days in Queens, I feel like I don't know if I'd be better off, but I wouldn't be bad, because I just love the diversity of Queens. You don't have that anywhere else. Fun fact for the listeners,
no,
I may have said before, and I will say again, Queens, New York, per capita has the most languages spoken in it than anywhere in the entire planet. So growing up in that super diverse environment was really cool, and I kind of feel it's very weird because when you're like outside of like New York, it's really hard to make friends of any like you have to literally like move to a neighborhood that is diverse and then be embedded in that neighborhood for a long time to make friends of other races. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you can't just like you can't just move to Chinatown and like meet Chinese people. You know what I mean? You have to go to somewhere that's already diverse. So like a LA or like a Queens or wherever, and then integrate with westernized people that happen to be from another place, as opposed to like when people come straight from off the boat and they say, "Oh, you're from here. We're gonna put you in this neighborhood." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing. I've I love Queens. I'm not afraid of saying it as much as you are, but I love it. I think it because you can literally go to Jackson Heights and it's India. You can go to Astoria, it's Greek. And then the other side of Astoria, it's Egyptian. Then you've got Flushing, which is just an amalgamated like Asian neighborhood really now, because there's so many South Koreans and Chinese and Taiwanese and people of all these different distinctions. Corona, Dominicans, Colombians, like it's just a crazy place. You can literally like have and I've done it before because I like to eat my feelings, where you can go from neighborhood to neighborhood and just like literally try all these different cultures. And I didn't know how lucky or fortunate I was until like I stepped out of that, because like like I can't go and say, oh man, I really want a bao bun. I'll just drive, go over there. Oh, I really want like some real deal Mexican authentic food. I have to drive an hour for that shit. If like I would throw a rock and I could hit like 300 Colombian bakeries, or go to try Indonesian food for the first time, or try Ethiopian food, and like it's not a weird thing, and it's in Justin, I think this, especially when you go out to like places that aren't like that, or more Caucasian, the caucasity of things. They even if you get something that is supposed to be like ethnic food, they'll westernize it or Americanize it, or just make it palatable enough for the locals. So much so that it's a complete departure, right? Like where like this happened to me. So I went to look for an empanada, and empanadas can be so different from like country to country. But I was trying one that was more like a pastele, right? So it was a Puerto Rican empanada, and they have cheese, but it's a very particular type of cheese. When I went to Middletown, New York, I hate you, Middletown. I went to go try this first place, and it said Dominican food and Puerto Rican food, and I was like, fire! I'm in there. Let's go. I order a fucking empanada, and it's fucking like cheese whiz inside, bro. Do you understand the disappointment and heartbreak? I asked for chicharron. You know what they gave me, bro? Chopped up pieces of like center cut pork chops, which you don't do that. You don't deep fry that shit, because all you're gonna do is give me a dry, tough piece of shit. Like they had like no idea, and it's because I think it's much more to like make it palatable for people, because that was a symptom of the area. Like you'd go to places like that, and it would be I don't want to say like everything has to be authentic,
too,
but I need it.
You know what's funny too is there is a thing that's not really talked about with ethnic cuisine. Um, a lot of people. So let's say like you're Colombian and you live in Queens and you want to open a Colombian restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You got acres of competition. You know you can't stand up to these boys. You got thousands of Colombian restaurants.
Right.
A lot of people, they'd be like, "Oh, I want to open a restaurant, but I can't tussle." They'll move to PA. They'll move to fucking, outskirts of whatever, and they'll open that restaurant, and everyone will be like, "Oh my god, it's so exotic!" But they're like they're Colombians who can't cook. You know what I mean? They're Dominicans who can't cook.
Bro, like, so there's a spot not too far from me, and it bills itself as like Latin American cuisines, which is like, very vague. Bro, it's like hard shell tacos and chicken parm for some reason is on the menu, like chicken franceses. Like, it's just, it's, and again, it's stuff to like make the locals feel comfortable with it. But who cares? That's why you got like New York City with the opposite problem, right? It's like, if you're not authentic, you're probably gonna like go under really quickly. It has to be at that umpteenth level where you're not only delivering this kind of food, but it's so authentic. Like, you flew somebody to like cook it. Like, I think they did it in Brooklyn. They brought like some taqueras like from Mexico.
Oh yeah, and there's also the problem of where like a white investor who will see like, oh, this area in Montana doesn't have Indian cuisine, so I'm gonna just put a bunch of brown people at the counter who probably are Mexican, really, but I'm gonna say it's Indian, throw some random shit on the menu, and then now Kalamazoo, Michigan can say they have an Indian place when really I'm just fucking and
cashing out.
Everyone's asking for butter chicken. No, let's talk about those white restaurateurs. You guys remember when Crown Heights was finally getting gentrified fully? I remember this one time. There was a restaurant owner, and apparently the building had gotten shot up before, right? And when they were renovating the place, there's a bullet hole in the restaurant. What did these dipshits do? They literally framed it and put like, like, this is like where they something like very vaguely racist, like in like they thought it was just funny, chuck ha ha.
This is where Tupac got shot.
Yeah, something like dumb like that. Like Biggie got it right here. Like like, and it was just like, what I was really glad is that literally the entire internet, including the community, was like, fuck you. Like, that place never opened because of that. Just because of that stupid fucking thing. And good for them, because they're fucking pricks. How do you walk into a neighborhood that has always had to deal with actual strife? Like, Crown Heights has historically always had to deal with tough things, white flight, racism, over policing, fucking food deserts, people just fucking in the mud, the trenches, bro. And you're gonna go in there and like frame a fucking bullet hole, you piece of shit. Like, fuck them. I hope they die under a Whole Foods.
And that's what I'll do with my $300 million, and when I buy property in Gary, Indiana.
Framing bullet holes.
Yes.
But they won't feel bad with you.
And I think that's a good place to end on that punchline.
Oh, wow. Okay. Listen, I'm good with that. It has been an eventful new year. I'm going to say this. My son is actually turning 5 tomorrow. And that's got me more excited than anything in this world, because I'll be a little mushy for you guys for 10 seconds and then we'll sign off. That little boy made me a father, and anyone who meets him, he's a sweet, kind, loving, funny, smart kid. And I've never been prouder to know a little guy and a human like him. And so, happy birthday, Jackson, from your dad.
Happy
I love you.
Jackson.
You'll probably see this when you're a lot older, hopefully. And I want you to know I've always loved you. You're my boy.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jackson. My nephew. Weird.
Yes. Yes, your nephew. He loves you, man. He still talks about you every day.
I'm so surprised he like even remembers who I am still, because like he's very young. Like, he shouldn't retain information as well.
You have no idea. His the way he retains information, he can rattle off my phone number, our address, all our names. Yeah. Like, he can remember things
doing that when I was a kid.
Yeah, he can recall things from like up to about 3 years old. Like, oh yeah, I remember that when we went to that park and I spilled my ice cream, and I'm like, no, don't do, like, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this has been the National Meat Treasure. You can always check us out every Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to be having more guests lined up for you. But if you are a person who is doing a project, interested in launching something, want to maybe talk about it in length with us, and you think we would be a good fit, message us. Reach out to us, because we would love to talk to people and figure out what we can, maybe new lanes in our life, or maybe connect, network. This is how we do it. Jay, you take it away, bro.
Yes, and follow me on TikTok at thin.cruel.lips and Instagram at thin.cruel.lips. Also follow the National Meat Treasure on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook when I figure out how to work that shit, because it is a dying medium.
It is.
National Meat Treasure Snapchat. I feel like Snapchat, I heard, I was like doing some research. Snapchat is actually like blowing up amongst the youth, even though I've deleted mine a long time ago. But
right.
Wow, it's got a resurgence. Good for Snapchat.
Snapchat had to get rid of mine because it was causing problems in my life.
Links.
But follow us on our Spotify playlist, National Meat Treasure. Also follow me at Saint Thrilla, at YoungMoth3 on Instagram, and Saint Thrilla on Twitter.
This has been the National Meat Treasure, boys. I love you. Peace.
National Meat Treasure.